Hey folks, today I'm working on making these very beautiful shaker style candle stands. These are really neat. I really like these. They're designed to hold a candle on these platforms, and as the candle burns down you can adjust the height of the candle by turning this double arm up and down this shaft. Really nice, really innovative, and I think it's just a very, very eye-appealing design and very functional too as well. So, follow along and follow me through this series, and I'll show you how these come out. Now we've got some steam coming out here. I'll put this in here. Now I drilled a series of holes in the bottom because I want this to get all steamy in here, but I don't necessarily want it building up any pressure. If it builds up pressure, it'll pop my little cover off. And if it does pop it off, then I'm going to have to put some more holes in it, I guess. Now while we're waiting for 20 minutes for our steamer, I went ahead and I cut up some forms. These are just PVC. Actually, they came off of this piece of pipe here. And I'm going to wrap the rims right around the outside of this. And I've got my clamps ready. So we'll just clamp those around there until they dry. I figure I can get 2 on each, but I've only got 5. But I did make 1 extra just in case. Everything's going well. You see the steam. I don't know if you can see it on YouTube or not, but our holes are working well. Our plug is staying put, nothing's popping out. So far, the pipe is hot, and I can flex it a little bit. I can't say it's really soft, but it is softer than when it was cold. We'll see. Well, that didn't go too bad, but I think I'm going to let these steam a little bit longer. Maybe another 15 minutes. Well, it's been another additional 15 minutes. We'll take one of these out, try it again. Well, here you can see that I was able to get 3 rims with the clamps that I have, and I put an F clamp on the end where the 2 ends come together. I needed a little extra strength there, and that brought those together. While the bands were setting up on the tubing, drying after the steaming, I went ahead and put the first one on the candle stand. I just wanted to get an idea of what it looked like. And I'm not really happy with how this turned out. The shakers originally put these on with a series of tacks that went around here. Usually 2, one on top of the other. I use screws. In this case I used brass screws. I really wasn't too enthusiastic about using tacks to hold this together, so I tried the brass screws, and I don't really like that look too much. I think that I can do a better job, and I think I can make this look a lot cleaner if I was to just turn this base, and I can turn the lip in there. That way there I don't have to worry about this rim ever coming off, because it'll be a solid piece, and I think it's going to clean the look up a lot without having any screws, or even if I was to go and use tacks instead, which I really don't want to do. Now what I've done here is I've applied this disc onto a faceplate. I use 2 screws to hold this on securely, and I need to turn 2 of these for each candle stand. And I don't know if you can see it through the camera, but the grain runs this way. It's just like a board, instead of having this out of a thick piece where the grain runs this way. What that means is I'm going to have quite a bit of end grain in here. So I've cut this out on the bandsaw fairly accurately, and I need to just scrape this. If I try to take a shearing or a cut that'll cut this, I'm going to get a lot of tear out in the end grain on each end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just scrape it lightly. I'm going to be very careful not to take too much off so that I don't get a lot of tear out in my end grain. And then I will turn a little lip on here with a round over, and I will kind of hollow this out in the middle. What this is going to do is I'm going to turn this out of this solid piece of wood so that I don't have to add a piece of banding along here. And it's going to be faster, and I won't have to use any tacks or any screws to hold the banding on. So it's going to be a much more durable piece than the way the shapers made theirs originally. After I've removed it from the lathe, we can take it off the faceplate. And what I just done is this little insert that I put in where I drilled the hole for the dowel has a little point at the center. I lined that up with marks that I made to center this on the arm. And when I got that in position, I tapped it with the hammer and it gave me a little mark right here. We'll drill a hole there, and this dowel will line up and it'll center this onto the arm, and that'll keep that from moving around when I put the clamps on it. Now, when nobody was paying attention, I snuck over to the drill press. I drilled a hole in each. Well, actually it's not a hole, it doesn't go all the way through, but it's just enough to accept the head of these dowels. And I cut these off. These are pretty short now, because I only need them just a little bit to keep it from moving. So what I'm going to do now is I'll glue these little pieces into our plates. Now what I'm going to do is just double check, make sure my lines actually line up like I want them to, and everything looks good. I'll put a little bit of glue on the iron. Put it on this disc. Well, now we can set this aside. Let that glue set up. And we'll be able to do a little bit of extra sanding where I got this wet. It's going to raise the grain a little bit, so I'll have to sand that back down a little bit. And we can put some finish on here. All that's left to do on these candle stands is to go over them with some fine steel wool, and then I will put the third and final coat of finish on here. I'll be putting these on the website fairly soon, but if you'd like some information before I get them on the website, just give me a call or send me an email and I'll be glad to answer as many questions as I can. I hope you enjoyed this video on building these candle stands, and I'll look for you next time.